everyone, and welcome to our Ottawa Young Construction Leaders Discussion panel. Our topic for today is how young professionals become construction leaders. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces in the crowd today, and I want to thank everyone for taking the time to spend an hour with us this afternoon. My name is Caitlin Wright, and I'll be your moderator for this session. We'll run through a short presentation to start, and then we'll dive into the discussion panel. We're hoping for lots of questions along the way, so please feel free to put up your hand. Don't be shy to ask questions. We're very happy to get to you and then get to your questions. So before we dive into formal introductions, I'd like to take a moment to thank Rooftops Roofing for sponsoring this session. We really appreciate your support, and we are lucky to be joined by the Vice President of RTR today on our panel. So to kick off introductions, my name is Caitlin Wright, and I'm the Procurement and Equipment Manager for PCL Construction in Ottawa, Montreal, and Atlanta, Canada. I've been with PCL for 7 years, and in the construction industry for 10 years, and this is my 3rd year on the YCL.
I'm Jesse Tolman. I'm with Sunbelt Rentals. I'm the market sales leader, so I work with our sales team right across the district. I've been with Sunbelt for just about 7 years. I've been in my role for 3 years now.
I'm Alexander Donovan. I'm sure so loud. I'm just a loud person doing this. Alexander Donovan. I'm the estimating manager at F1 Products. I've been on OCA and in the construction industry for
I'm Corey Jell, Rooftops Roofing. I've been in the industry for 8 years and on the OYLC board for the past 7 years.
Hey, my name is Björn Fix. I'm a senior project manager at Crown Eastern Construction Limited. I'm with them since 6 years in the industry, and I was since over 10 years before that in Germany for a couple of years, since I'm here in Canada with them. And now since 3 years with the OSN.
Yeah. Before we continue, not sure if I have the presentation, but it seems to be on a Okay, well, I'll just work. It's all good. So the YCL was founded in late 2007 by a group of eager up-and-comers, with Louis-Pierre Gregoire of Gowling WLG leading the charge as the committee's first chairman. The committee was originally called the Young Construction Executives Club, but were also known as the YCEC, but was soon after changed to what we know now as the Ottawa Young Construction Leaders. The first event was held in early 2008, and we have not looked back since. I'm sorry, this is super distracting. This year's committee is 10 volunteers strong, and each year we welcome back existing and onboard new members to encourage ideas, collaboration, and inclusivity within our industry. Our mission is to connect Ottawa's young construction leaders through education, networking, and giving back to the community. These are our 3 core objectives. Our vision is to foster a unified network of current and emerging young leaders within the construction industry. Our target audience are young professionals under 40 years old within the construction industry, with focus on those employed by OCA handled firms. What do we do? We organize events to satisfy our 3 core objectives, with examples such as featured spaces, pub nights, poker tournaments, community builds, and our biggest event of each year, a golf tournament. We introduced twosome pairings in 2023 instead of the traditional foursome format to encourage and create additional networking opportunities on the golf course. This initiative has been successful, and look forward to bringing it back at this year's tournament. Through these events, we look to raise money for local charities and give back as much as possible, all while having fun. We got to all of this for this house and wine that in 2024, we donated over $24,000 All charities being chosen by our volunteer committee members with interest in spreading the love as much as possible. Last year's largest donation as part of our golf tournament raised $18,000 for the Distress Center of Ottawa and region, an organization committed to contributing to a healthier and safer community by providing suicide prevention, crisis intervention, emotional support, referral and education services, and more, without judgment to individuals in need. We've had a great year so far and on track to meet or beat last year's donation amount. It's okay, all good. So looking at our event schedule for this year, our next event is the PWHL game at TD Place on Wednesday, April 30th. So as of now, we have 1 drink sponsorship and just over 30 registration tickets left to sell. So if this is of interest to you and your colleagues, please head over to the OCA events page for more information and to sign up. We look forward to welcoming up to 75 attendees to this event. There are some events with dates yet to be announced, so please keep a lookout for updates via the OCA emails and through our YCL LinkedIn page. So I'll now pass the mic to Alexandra to outline some industry statistics.
Don't have that, so no, that's fine. With all that, things are why are we so passionate about having input in this industry? Now more than ever, there are opportunities for young professionals to come into this market. Over the next 10 years, the construction industry is looking at, annually, retirements. 25,000 to 28,000 workers are expected to retire. And then to meet the needs of the construction industry, we're also looking at 88,000 dumb port and one to be hired. To address the challenges, it's crucial to recruit individuals from traditionally unrepresented groups. Me, myself, as a woman, we make up 5% of this industry, and that includes on-site as well as in the offices. Other underrepresented groups will be people, newcomers to Canada, as well as Indigenous people. With that, for MCA careers.
So before we jump into our panel discussion, I want to see how many spots are there and jobs we have to fill in the near future. The OCA has created the careers website. If you haven't seen that yet, have a look on the OCA. There are over 200 videos on there from professionals, from all age groups, from trades to consultants to insurance companies to contractors. Myself is on there as well. And it's important to connect young people from high schools and also from other industries to our industry and show them why we are so proud of what we are doing. You don't need to have a university degree to become a young leader like we are now. And have a look there. If your company wants to put some videos up there as well, if you want to be interviewed because how proud you are of what you are doing, please feel free to reach out to the OCA for that.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So we have one question prepared to kick us off here, but like I mentioned, please don't be shy, raise your hand, let us know if you have questions, and we have our panelists here to take care of that for you. So I'll jump right in. So what's one piece of advice you have for those in our audience who have recently transitioned into a leadership role or are preparing for one?
Say yes. Any opportunities given, jump on them, say yes, find opportunities, go the extra mile and take advantage of the networking events with the OYCL, with the OCA, with the NCHA, and other committees and panels across the industry. That's how you're going to network, that's how you're going to gain the experience, and that's how you're going to get to the knowledge and get to know the people that are going to help you and take you and kind of guide you and promote you and allow you to go to the next level.
So yeah, and I have two more pieces of advice, and one is know what you don't know. Because we are young, we can't know everything, and you will never know everything, so it's really important to keep up with good communication, listen to everybody in your team, be it younger, but be it older, learn from everybody, and it's important, listen before leading. Because you need to know, okay, what does your team actually need? What are their challenges? What do they want to do? What is going right on the construction side? What is not going right? Because if you don't listen to them, you won't be a good leader. So it's a two-way communication, which is really important. And this way you build up trust with the people, with also the older generation. I came here to Canada, I thought I know a little bit more about construction, got paired up with one of our oldest senior site supers. I came in and thought I know a lot. This went a little bit sideways. Now we have a great relationship. I started listening to him. He started listening to me as well. We got to know each other. Now I would say he's a great mentor. He taught me a lot of things in construction. But yeah, I did it wrong. I learned from it, and now I start listening more to what they have to say. Listen to everything.
Saludos. Shall yeah.
Dave.
Anybody have a crowded question?
Just you go see that.
Ethan, do you have any advice for someone who's not comfortable, like going to them with this, like how to approach someone you don't know?
Just do it. It's the only way you're going to get comfortable doing it is repetition, just like anything else.
And halftime, anyways, at those events, it's everyone's, with the OICL, it's a lot of their first events, networking events. They're probably just as nervous as you are. And we're all there for the same reason, right? So,
Yeah, as she said, we're all there for the same reason, so walk it there, start meeting with people, talk with people. Everybody's friendly, nobody's being there out to get you, so you don't have to be worried at all. Show up and just do it.
And maybe you know already somebody. Maybe you meet somebody today in the room, you mingle a little bit, get to know one person, and then you have a starting point to get to these events. And then you know more and more. I didn't know anybody here, and now I know going to the room and know many of you guys already. Hopefully I get to know many more, and that's how you build up your network. Yeah, everybody is always important, like this, especially outdoors.
If you're looking for a conversation starter, start with the weather now, because the weather can lead to mutual interests somewhere down the line.
Hockey.
Okay, I'll throw out another question here. So how do you build credibility and gain respect from seasoned professionals in the field workers?
So you gotta show up and be consistent. You always have to do that. You also need to listen to the older generation. They paved the way for us. That doesn't mean you can't have ideas too, that they also need to listen to, but you always need to listen to them, take what they're saying, and make it work.
and honestly, respect is a given on, your first day on site. As I'm sure all of us know, we have to be consistent, show up every day for your customers, to your engineers, whoever you're working with. Show them that you are the master of your own product, and let them trust you.
And talk is cheap, so you gotta back up what you're trying to sell them. So,
Shall I continue?
I'm going to start calling some of you out in the crowd.
Okay, I'll do another one here. So, what mentoring experiences and tactics have you found helpful as part of your role or career to date?
So yeah, when I lived in Germany, now here in Canada, I'm a person, I like to be pushed to my limits. Not everybody is like that, so if you're searching for mentorship and they are pushing you too far, it's really important to communicate. For me, that really helped. I had throughout them, they guided me, but they asked questions rather giving me answers, so I needed to think by myself. Younger generation in here, ChatGPT is good, but you still need to think. It's really important that you think what the answer is, because somebody can bullshit you, and you still need to think, does this make sense? And all the software, what we have, is one thing. What is really important, or the mentors, what I was looking for, is that they always have your back. For mentorship, it's like, okay, I make mistakes. Mistakes are human. There are problems. Sometimes I can figure them out by myself. And then I am really proud of that as well, and say, hey, I had a problem, I figured out that's my solution. And sometimes you need to find a solution together. And it's really that the mentor, and that you are basically having a safe place where you can admit these things. And that's really important. That's helped me in my career.
There's one word that pops in my mind when I think of mentorship, and it's time. And that can be taken in many different ways. And I think the number one is they give you their time, or you give your mentee your time. It's the open door policy. It's dropping what they're doing or dropping what you're doing to answer questions, to support, and to help them through their trying times. But it's also giving that person time to live in their craft, learn what they're doing, make mistakes, and give them the opportunity to go from what they're working on, what they're doing, what they're failing into, what they're growing at. Time is everything when it comes to
Thank you.
what?
Being a young instruction plans, the work like that, your personal work. No, you're all everybody's out of there.
It's definitely, I'd say, I mean, something that I know of older generations, it seems like they live to work, and now we're, I have 2 kids, I have a husband, and I do find that we're trying to network, we're trying to make a name for ourselves in this industry, but we're also trying to make time family. So it's all about, at least for me, setting up private calendars, and really dividing my time really, so that I'm not taking away from my personal activity.
A lot of it for me is time management, and the biggest thing is communication. Communicating with work, with your fellow employees, with your management, but communicating with your family as well. As you mentioned, the family calendar, the shared calendar, and planning your days and weeks in your calendars.
Do you ever have fun?
What's that?
The best thing just go generation of the part time. Yes, I'm like, so that's why in generation, you guys had fun.
I think the advantage and the disadvantage of life today is cell phones.
That makes me technology, like, I was recently on cruise, and while my kids were sleeping in the morning, I kind of did some work, and then once they woke up, then I started to, play with them. So technology can definitely help us, but so it's just I know. See, I'm kind of up us.
And it's like, yeah, work-life balance. Are we working? Sorry, I got government workers who are working 35 hours here, but it is just like you need to put something in there. You can't just expect that you rise by just working for 35 hours, going home, time clicking and everything like that. So you need to put something in there. I asked our president, Mr. Thomas, told me I should cut down my hours. I was not used to that when I came here to Canada. And I asked him, how do you get where you are without putting that in? So it is a hard balancing act. So you need to look, it doesn't help you burning out. It doesn't help you to put in 60 hours, 70 hours a week. It doesn't help you because then maybe you are out for like 2 years because you have a burnout, and that doesn't help you as well. It's finding what works for you. Everybody works different. Somebody works good in the mornings. Somebody says, okay, yeah, I have to deal with the kids now, I bring them to school. Work a little bit more at night. You need to find the balance, what works for you, and how capable of what you are doing as well, and then be organized with your time.
As we already said, you got to put in the time to work, but you also got to make time for family, though. Family is everything to everybody, and without that, you will. You need to make sure that you are there for your family.
I'll add a little two cents from my experience as well. You know, I struggled with work-life balance. I'm sure many in the room have, right? And I think part of that is learning how to effectively delegate within the team is something I'm still learning how to do. I think a lot of people, you know, they hold on to things that they have taken care of for many years, and, you know, they want things to be done a certain way, but to allow others to rise up and become leaders, it's important to find ways to be able to do that. So I just kind of piece this on.
And kind of, sorry, back to the first question you asked is, as leaders, new leaders, learning to delegate is something that's incredibly fast.
The measures of topics from new sides. Someone located for a mentor or it's test on find the right person. Yeah.
Good question. So some companies have a mentorship program. Companies out there, it's sometimes just like our company, we try to also fill up from the bottom to the top that you learn already in young age to mentor somebody who's just out of school, to be comfortable there. Maybe it's just one of your colleagues who is maybe business just 2 years more than you and has a little bit more experience. You mentor each other with different options. And just having that thing called writing it. It does not get right, but it's in that part. Yes, always it doesn't need to be the people you're working with directly. Could be also somebody, could be your dad. A good example, could be your dad who gives you life lessons all the time. Is the mentor, maybe the same industry, takes you tips and tricks there as well. So there are different ways to find mentors for yourself, which fit you as well, because we picked that everybody that is this person, your supervisor, is automatically your mentor kind of thing. And also maybe it works in first chapter twice, and then I say, okay, maybe I want to find somebody else, and then it comes very natural, and you go.
I think it needs to be somebody you respect, because for a good mentor, they're going to challenge you. So if you're being challenged, that's not respect. You have to react to the best of your abilities. So finding somebody that you have the utmost respect for, that you look up to be your mentor, so that when they challenge you, you react in a good, positive way to the work growth. I also think if you have a mentor, if you set yourself up with a mentor, I think it's also important to find somebody for a team to mentor, so that you can pass that down, so that you can work. Because sort of learning from your mentor, but I also think there's a lot of skills to be learned and developed by mentoring somebody else.
With the young leaders, evidently you are leaders by OCA exclusive leaders, or would you do encourage people like are yeah. But there isn't it.
Haven't did this. I think this goes back to sorry. I think this goes back to the first question that she asked. It's putting your hand up and kind of putting yourself outside your comfort circle and taking on more responsibility and taking on new challenges to become a leader. Joining the OYCL and going to these events, you're going to be rubbing elbows, you're going to be meeting new people, new leaders in the industry. It's going to push you to the next level. It's going to allow you to take your skills. It's going to motivate you. I can tell you right now, a year ago, if you had told me I'd be sitting up here on a stage talking to a room full of people, I wouldn't have necessarily believed you. But my boss and my mentor, he's pushed me to get us out of my comfort circle. And what I've realized is that, like, the only way you're going to gain the experience is by doing it. You're not going to gain the experience by sitting back and wishing you had to. It's going to be putting your hand on, getting yourself outside your comfort zone, and doing what other people are doing.
And
Our OYCL events as well. We had, and I'm just really hoping this person's on here, but we've had people sign up for the event with their name, and because they were not with the company yet, their company name was Job. That's what they showed up as. So for a lot of young people who want to become leaders, they may not even be with the company yet. They know that coming to our events, they could talk to Soleil industry professionals and have the opportunity for a new job to advance their career.
That's it. Alright. And you don't start as the you're a stepping stone. You want you guys to become leaders. If you write out of school and start your job and act for the events, everybody's welcome. We don't start at become a leader with the actions what you're putting out there. And maybe you're already a leader in your hockey team, in your book club, or whatever else. It doesn't give you a shit. It's just that we're sitting here with the power or a part of the steering committee, and that's not working. It should actually do.
Something not. I was going to say, obviously you're all working as an editor, so how do you recognize when you get a position storylines is getting you opportunities, so maybe you make the switch to a new company or goal or suggestions. So how do you recognize?
You have to have a chat with your boss about how to move up. If you're stuck in the same position, you try to show initiative to move up, and they're still not allowing you to, then yes, it's definitely time to make the jump. Because if you're putting yourself out there and trying to actually move up in the job title, then you're actually giving you accessories such as training and pushing you to actually move there and move up there.
So you need to take initiative. Start meeting by yourself, even if it's not your task. Or take one small task. Should be baby steps to approach it. They start. Yeah, I take over the minutes of meetings. I get you to sit and live there all the time and grab one piece at a time. I'm not saying out there I want to become a leader. No, leaders don't become just because of the title. But then called project manager, it's not that I'm a leader because of that. It's because how I treat others, how I lead with example, and the actions, what you're actually doing. And no matter how good you are, you can become a leader in your small little group with other interns and speak with your boss, have a little communication, communicate with what you actually want. And if they don't support it and you don't feel happy where you are, then it's maybe time to move forward. But it's a decision you have to take that well yourself, and sometimes not an easy one. But if you notice that you want more, but you're stuck and don't get further, it maybe that's because.
I do also want to just say that, I'm fortunate to work for a company where we have set annual reviews and touch points. But I'm aware that not everyone has that, right? So make sure you advocate for yourself. If you see something, so you're not getting a regular review, you're not getting regular feedback, take it upon yourself to go speak to your supervisor, speak to other folks within your organization and see how you can start that. Make sure you take some of the responsibility that onus to be able to drive yourself forward.
I think there's two ways to kind of go about that. One is communicating to your senior leadership, whether it's your direct leader or other management leaders within your company and other departments. And two is to apply for different jobs within your organization, because that is going to get you interviews, it's going to be opportunities, and it's going to show embodying it within your organization that you are looking to move up and to grow yourself.
You touched about when somebody started our fire. How does one know that sure use its cost group and then start one?
To be a part of the OCA, not part to be part of the OCA to October events. Also, though we are called construction leaders, you don't necessarily have to be on the board to lead that view. But I mean, you'd have to speak in your organization. I believe OCA website. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there is a directory, and I just want to mention though that we do, we're promoting more of the OCA membership. So this year we have a formal tiered pricing system for all of our YCL events. So you'll notice that there is a $10 increase for non-OCA members. So that's to encourage new membership and just be able to take advantage of all the other things that come with those membership as well, outside of coming to our social events.
Effectively, great posts. We always want the next show. Always bring comes with the bit. Follow the page on LinkedIn. If everybody is nowadays has LinkedIn. If not, it's for sure a good tool to use for that data as well to get connected with everybody, and then follow it and then just show it. That's the way we're saying about fighting through.
I'm going to throw a question out to the group. What's something you wish someone told you early on in your career? Let's go.
Alex, your turn.
For myself, and this is very job specific for Lou. I came from a different background than a construction background. I actually came from private label branding, and I just wish someone had told me that I didn't have to. This again is really specific. That I didn't have to go to engineering school and this to get that job that I want. I love my job as an estimating manager. I love the product that I sell. I just wish that someone would have told me that there were different avenues to get to where I wanted to go in the industry, and that it wasn't just straight line to it.
But your career is your responsibility. It sounds so simple, but if you're wanting to move up, if you're wanting more challenges, if you're wanting to work on personal development, that's on you to communicate that to your senior leadership, to take that responsibility on yourself. If you want to go to the next level, nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. And it's as obvious as it sounds. You don't realize it when you're in the day-to-day grind, but it's taking that time to kind of self-reflect and look at where you want to go and set it.
You don't have that all figured out either to lead. Some good leader, they don't definitely know to know what you don't know. It's pretty important. Just because I'm fresh out of university and you're ready to do this, you're great. So engaged to this when you get it. It's really something important which I did help. Yeah, it's fine to not admit it. Say it to your teammate. I don't know that yet, but I'm figured out. Go from there, and then you have like networking events, like you always say, get to know people, and they maybe know exactly how to solve your problem. When I have a roofing problem, I call roofers. You get these connections, so it's really important to create these connections, especially in Ottawa. Again, it's so tightly knit. Everybody knows everybody. I came here 6 years ago. I didn't believe that everybody knows everybody, but went to high school with each other, played hockey with each other, this community, that community, and so everybody knows that, and that's always the story started here for our mentors. And if you go out now at these events, you will tell the same stories in 30 years and shortly before retirement. Okay, I know now everybody there saying, how do you know? And I went to your OCA method. Yeah.
I can attest to the statement of you never know how you can get that, how those connections can get yourself out of a bind. Like I've experienced that quite a few times over the last year where I had a problem and I need to fix it now, like within the next hour, and I was able to tap in connections that I need through the YCL. So I just want to say, it can be nerve-wracking to go out and network with a bunch of folks that you don't know, but just know that these 5 people and the rest of our YCL committee, like, we want you there. We are happy to see you and welcome you to the group, and definitely want to encourage involvement and let's see faces. So,
I'm firm believer going and getting it done by where I think there's a lot of talent sitting in. How do you promote that within your organization and get out, promote it, come on?
Feel to your employees definitely heavily want to bring it up to everybody that you can. There's opportunities to grow here. There's opportunities to move up. Find if somebody's coming to you and already talking to you about wanting to move up, that's definitely something that can show initiative and get them work towards getting to the next step. So that'd be an easy way to get them out of the weeds, is just be open, talk with everybody, and push the challenge.
question. And I think that's why it's mentorship is so important. Like you have your mentor, but that's also your responsibility to become somebody's mentor. So it's communicating that and becoming a mentor for those younger generation or for those other individuals in your organization that you see out.
Yeah, if you have just your call with the annual reviews, don't wait for feedback. Ask the feedback constantly, bad or good. It's really important that you get it grasp. Ask them what they want. Say happy and the job size that with this page, then you as a leader or you and your team and you will get also better grasp as something is not going so right. Sometimes they will just their voice. Out there something is bothering them. Sometimes they just need to talk what to talk and stuff like that, and you will figure it out. That's also an experience when you become a mentor or a leader that you get to be understand that everybody is different. So it's really hard at times. Maybe it's something is brought from at home to the job site. That's where something is going wrong. But dealing without getting the people out there, and maybe somebody's in the means because they had kids. Maybe you can help them out, say, okay, you bring your kids to school, started with later, and you can work at night, motivate them basically.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about different types of leadership, because the best performer on the team might not necessarily be the best over people. So what other types of leadership can you live up to in your organization or organization?
And so, like good planning, where I work, we have a few people who are fantastic leaders, but they may not be a good leader. They're great leader of processes and the different type. So it's really important for the company to recognize that. Again, I have someone who may not be the best at leading people, but she can do processes like no other, and it's what she focuses on. So I think it's about really just noticing what strengths are and not expecting that if someone's going to be a leader, that they need to be a leader, that they need them or that they can do other things.
So I'm doing at the moment that we should make geopolitical aesthetic as well, and because yes, that now all the time called leadership because you learn a lot, and you don't need to be a leader. It's okay to not be a leader. It's important. Okay, we call ourselves still white, young construction leaders, but can be an expert. It's as valuable, if not more, that you are an expert in what you are doing to task. Maybe you're not the best person to communicate with people, but you're the best in doing estimates or on the side, getting everything organized, scheduling, or wherever you else you or sales. You're the best salesperson, but just with yourself and not with your teams. You don't need to be a leader. That's the important lesson as well. Not everybody is a leader, doesn't need to be a leader, and you don't be a leader to be part of your voice as well. Maybe it's written in there, but it's called leader, but it's about networking, it's about connecting people. If you're comfortable with that, maybe it helps you. Maybe you're not so comfortable with that at all, which is fine as well.
I'll go back to one thing that Bjorn said, feedback. Feedback's an interesting concept, an interesting word. At the end of the day, good or bad, feedback's just feedback. You take it as you want. What I would try to do, and what I would recommend, take feedback as a learning opportunity. Good or bad, somebody's providing you feedback. It's an opportunity to maybe learn a new direction, maybe learn a way to do something. But don't take feedback as a negative. Take it as a learning.
Every level of risk trial to the company. Sometimes your feedback is something personal. There is also communicated wrongly. So you don't need to take everything and say, yeah, I don't like how you do this. So that's feedback. So make it personal. So if you give feedback, never make it about the person itself. And also, if you notice it's about yourself, it's really important that this is also maybe a step too much from your mentor. And you need to speak with somebody about that, because people should be always about, so you do things, but never about this person. And so,
I would say also to learn how your team or others you work with want to be recognized. Not everyone wants to be in a spotlight, so sometimes someone may just really appreciate a little sticking out on their monitor. Great job, loved your work today, great presentation, this and that. The small things go a long way. Take the time to recognize people. I think a lot of the time, negative feedback will be given, but it's really important to share, the positives and recognize team members for that. And that allows them to gives them the confidence to rise up as well and want to take those leadership roles. So make sure you're taking the time to recognize your peers, because we're awesome.
This side of the room is real quiet there. Does anybody have any questions from this side? Just look at Bruce.
I would say time back a lot in
You guys are all growing into this leadership role. Stress is part of life. Stress is part of leadership. Stress is part of the job. People flipping burgers have stress serving. Like, maybe each of you can speak to how your stress level has changed as you've moved from whatever role you were in, to the leadership role you're in, and then the advice you have about how you get that. Teach out personally, because we all got different ways. Not to find guys like Jack, Benton, Howard, and finding the right avenues to deal with it. But for the young people in the room, maybe you can share a little bit how get your stress level increased significantly. It's really just encountered.
I've worked with passion before, so I
can practice it with.
For me, when I was younger, there was a problem, and it was a high level fraud. But it was stressing me out so much. It was something went wrong. It's a small little measurement on the job site. I messed it up. I was stressed about that because that was my task. And the task got big. I figured it out. Problem solved. It's not that bad. Came up with the solution. Then the next time it was not a big problem, and the more the stress level was big different. So the more you grow, the more problems you have, the more experience you have. The tiniest problem will be tiny. There are new problems. There will always be problems. Your project managers are also problem managers. You have to manage the problems. And what helps me as well, if you're having a stressful day, step back for a moment and figure it out and say, okay, I need a coffee break. You smoke and take a smoke. That helps some people. And then go back to your desk and then basically, okay, it's not that bad. We will figure it out. Speak with the people, speak with the mentors. When you're stressed all the time, maybe it's time to do some sports to get you fully out, get your energy on that. And everybody has something else in them, what they like to do. Step away from them. And then with the experience, the time to do this problem, if you like the problem anymore, new problems will come, you will figure it out, but they won't stress you.
As we were saying, when I was younger working in the field, it was the same way. You come across something wrong, and it would be the end of the world, most stressed in the entire day. Get yelled at by your coworkers, everything else. As I moved up, now looking after everybody. That's a lot of stress. You need to make sure that your estimating team is finding the next job. You got to keep the guys going. You've got an entire crew and team looking at you to make decisions. That's a lot more stress. Now, obviously, this day and age, mental health is a huge thing. You definitely don't want to be a victim to that. You need to talk to people. If you're stressed out, you need to talk to people. Find somebody you're comfortable to speak with and speak with them about it. Don't keep it in. It helps you a lot. And once again, when you're at work, it's work. When you go home, you need to step back and just walk away.
Let's say that, I don't get stressed at work, and I'm not stressed. I want to get out. But I can definitely say that, every day it's a little more stressful. But what I've been learning is to make lists, figure out what it is that's stressing me out, make a list of steps to kind of alleviate that stress. But something that my senior leadership team has been kind of saying to me, as well as others that I work with, is use the people that you work with. I have my estimators, and sometimes I like to hold everything for myself, because I think I can do it all. But to alleviate a lot of that stress, it's using your tool that you, delegate it.
Sorry, I'm just going to ask the question that we can get to you if you don't mind.
In order.
I don't think stress is a bad thing. I think there's a lot of good in stress too. Obviously, there's bad stress, but pressure is a privilege. Stressful situations make you tougher. They challenge you. They give you an opportunity to grow and learn from those situations. And different ways to kind of work around that is one, structure, creating structure, time management, and just kind of being organized in what you're doing. And then walking. Take a 10-minute walk. Walking is a huge stress relief. Just kind of get the body moving a little bit. If you can get outside, get some fresh air, get some sunlight. That helps a lot. It resets your mind, so when you get back to your desk or you get back to your office or you get back to your workspace, wherever that is, you're kind of, you've reset, you've cleared your mind, and you can maybe tackle that task from a different point. Go ahead.
So just to build on, I can't remember who just said, as long as you put, this is my experience, as long as you put some thought into a problem, and you've given it your best and sort of have an idea of a solution, and you're stressed about it, you're not sure, there is no dumb question in this world. Like you said, use your people, like know the connections, people at work. Second thing, everyone makes mistakes. That's how we learn. Admit it and rectify it with your team. That's all there is to it. You learn to respect that by too, because you admit it. How hard is it to admit that? Pretty tough thing in this world. Get Apple?
So you have a mentor. It's just our tips of the coolest with stress balance. You're not stressed. When you as always the therapy, we're by myself, where it's like a week for us work, life, and a lot of things go on. They have some kind of tools as well, which helps. What I admitted back in the days was something forbidden. That meant I do it, it helps. And don't be shy to do that, because they get trained for that, they will help you. And help to go now from then to takes a long time to get back to.
Perfect. I'm going to throw out another question over here. So when you're hiring for a leadership role, what characteristics are you looking for in candidates?
You need to fit the culture of the company. Just because you don't fit the culture, I could say at my company, it doesn't mean that you're not going to fit at Beumer's company. But if you're going to hire somebody, they do need to fit the culture. They need to be hardworking. If hardworking is one of the things in your culture that needs to be in, so we're going to stock off a little more grades, they may not be the good fit. But yeah, no matter what, it has to be a culture. That doesn't matter how much school, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. If you're not going to fit the culture, it's not working. Aspect.
I look for character. I want to hire. I want to work with good people, high character people that care about what they do. In my mind, skills can be taught and developed. You can work with that, but you can't teach somebody to care. You can't teach high character, high standards. That's not something you can. It's something you can develop for sure, but if that individual's got that skill set or those characteristics, you're going to be able to work with them, and that's going to bring progress to the team.
So characteristics what some want to bring out and both effort and interest, accountability, elements to be able to become. to communicate with to make sure if you make mistakes, that's fine. Sit it and show up, do your works. Let's say you get basically, if you say you go do something, do it at least, or at least try doing it. If I figure it out, so then I tried to figure it out, didn't figure it out, okay, let's go and communicate there again. Communication is the accountability, adaptability. Now, technology is changing, companies are changing, the world is changing, well, just try to adapt with everything what's happening in the upcoming system.
Yes. You're having previously arrived from Germany in Canada. How did you combat or challenge bias?
I'm not going to repeat it.
So having arrived from international waters and then, handing out how many applications, dozens if not, hundreds, how did you challenge or combat bias from the employer standpoint in terms of selling your skills or highlighting your international experiences?
That's a tricky question. Yeah, I have sent out many resumes. For me, a challenging part was also I didn't have one permanent residency with that to make it a little bit challenging there as well for me. I was privileged on German engineering kind of thing, so that made it for me wait and see but that's still hard, but it is brand new. I really come to Canada as well. It's like, again, you don't know everything, even if you have a lot of experience. Maybe start as an entry level, as a stepping stone. Don't say, okay, I'm a senior PM where I worked before, because I came in with this mindset that construction or business is done in every country different. Different practices, different technologies, different people. I came in way too hard, but it was like this Germans are too direct and working in it, and now I started saying sorry all the time. So that's for sure, but it's basically start learning, adapting to the culture here as well, and start low, learn low. Also I said, okay, I don't know that, I don't have the top salary yet, but I did there, it's important to as well, salary makes it even cheaper, and say, okay, it means to be fair for you and the employer, and say, hey, okay, I started on with I showed the first what I'm capable of doing, show that, and then you're fine.
But you guys were asked about hiring. You're mainly talking about soft skills. Was there ever an opportunity as managers where the hard skills outweigh soft skills?
In my experience, no. But I'm in a field when it comes to hard skills.
Like Corey hires someone to do the roof, and then they do the work really well, but they cannot talk to the dispatcher without insulting. So,
Well, that you need, yes. So in that sense, yes. In that sense, I would have to hire somebody that can speak. That may not mean they can do the roofing part of it, but they've got to be able to speak, sell, and have client care of them. And that goes back to the talk earlier. Everybody fits in different roles. So somebody's going to be a leader in sales. They're not going to be a leader on the roof in my aspect in the roof to put it down. So going back to that as well. Different leaders, different business.
And I think sometimes you have to pivot a bit. I met someone who could apply for an estimating job with us, but their people skills were not there. And for what we do, we do a lot of sales as well with our estimate, right? But looking at their qualifications, I saw that they were a great fit for another part of our company. So we offer that to them. And so just pivoted a little bit there. Because I'm soft sometimes.
And during this interview process, and you find the right or they find the right candidate, it's maybe still not good right fit for that, because they sell themselves really well as you interview. Maybe it's not the right fit for the company, maybe it's not the right for you as well, because the company may say, okay, you have these opportunities, growing opportunities, and they say, yeah, so you are worth a lot, as well as a person there. So it is maybe not at the first time. The first time I was fortunate, it was for me right away the right fit. But it's also okay, especially as young people, to try it out. I would highly recommend not jumping every 6 months for the next 5 years to exit, because it does not send your resumes. You need to sit it out sometimes as well. Sometimes it's the first 2 years might be the harder, and then you get into the groove, and then that's in winter. That's important as well.
Perfect. So we have about 5 minutes left. Does anyone have any burning questions? Otherwise, I have one last question for the
One more from the crowd. Okay, I go. There too. Balls. Go ahead.
I guess they do things.
That's a good question. There's this sandwich with bad. Everybody is that important. I don't really end up so much. I literally everybody's can talk there. First of all, never make it about the person. Then don't wait as well. Like, don't wait till there's feedback time. Like 6 months and nobody remembers the whole situation, because also that gives the maybe not the chance to defend themselves so much, because maybe it was something personal what happened, and then give constant feedback, give the criticism there as well, and say, hey, this was not the right thing, should be a little bit more calmer, maybe take in with me first, this comes with time. And giving criticism is definitely not easy. And sometimes people come back and take it personally, and then you shouldn't have said something. So it's definitely not easy. Again, in practice, we started it.
I think the key is knowing and understanding your team, the individuals in your team, because everybody takes criticism, takes feedback differently, and everybody's motivated differently. So you need to know each individual's and how they need to be criticized, or how they need to be managed, how they need to be motivated, so that you can communicate to them properly and effectively, so that you don't come across.
Definitely a question, criticism person. So if that's something to criticize, like, why did you do this wrong? Why did you do that? I usually ask them in a very nice manner, like, how do you feel like your interaction was with that specific person? Or when you were quoting this job, why did you put this in here? So that we can start a conversation about it instead of just like, vote it.
You three pretty much said it all, but like there's good criticism. Like I enjoy it, because then you find out what you did wrong, and you can build. And if they're just attacking you, then no, that's not really good criticism. That's bad criticism. But you take the right way, and they're telling somebody noticing that something wrong, and you're able to fix it. Out that good criticism, you're gonna build it, grow.
And I think the best way to give criticism is go for a walk with a person, because walking is a lot less intimidating. It's a lot. I do like walking. But it's proven. That is proven.
Chris, you stuck him.
No, it's that way. You're not eye to eye. You're not looking down at somebody, or you're not coming across the wrong. It creates a lot more flow in the conversation, and it's a lot more effective to actually be walking, to give bad feedback, criticism, negative news, whatever. It is a lot. It's proven. It's not just be like a walk. It's proven that walking with that stuff is a lot more effective.
You're going to go for a walk in the government your best, because
I would say too, just from my perspective, most of us are working back in the office now, at least, part or full time. Take the time to go talk to that person in person if you can. Don't write it out in email, because we all perceive and, can take those words in different ways. So back to the human factor, we're all people, right? Take the time to go speak to them. I'm certain by you doing that they're going to take that information in a more positive way, and then you can work together rather than both parties feeling frustrated being in opposition. So,
and for the record, walking and writing emails doesn't count.
Okay, we are actually just about out of time. So my last question, so you have 10 seconds each. In the summation of our discussion here today, can you pick one key takeaway that you would like to share with our audience as they work towards or continue their leadership journey?
Challenge yourself.
Be consistent.
Stay positive. Actively communicate. Okay.
And come to West the Elephants! So thank you very much to Bjorn, Corey, Alexandra, and Jesse for taking part in the panel today. So on behalf of the OCA and our speaker's gift sponsor, C&M Electric, we have a little gift for you as a token of our appreciation. Thanks so much.